Welcome on back, everybody, to this mini review of Hogwarts Legacy. We're going to go and speak to Professor Weasley over here. This is the end of the game. Yeah, we are not doing anything else in the game. I have had a look at what we need to do, and you need to get to level 34 to do the final piece. I'm only at level 31, so I'm not going to go and spam side quests to to do that. So Bell Tower, it's probably here I need then. Yeah, it's got a transconfiguration courtyard here. So yeah, we're gonna speak to Weasley here and see what she has to say, and then give you the my review of the game anyway, which has been really, really good actually. Again, I still can't get into any of the doors, so I don't know. Probably got to do a side quest for that, which is a bit strange, you know. It's a post game thing, maybe. You know. Let's see and talk to Professor Weasley.
Professor Weasley, you wanted to see me?
I did. We haven't had a chance to speak since I know you were quite close with Professor Fig.
Hogwarts won't be the same without him.
No, it won't. But I can assure you that he would want us to press on, and that he would rest easy knowing that the future of the wizarding world is in hands like yours.
Thank you, Professor.
You've had quite a year, both inside and outside of Hogwarts. I've heard all sorts of rumors. You've ridden a graphorn, befriended a goblin, rescued hippogriffs. And I don't even want to know the truth behind the rumors that you visited Azkaban.
How did you...
It's harder to keep secrets around here than one might suspect. I'm just glad you found such a good friend in Miss Sweeting. It's nice to see her engaging more with her classmates. There have evidently been Snidget sightings in the area lately. If the centaurs are to be believed, 2 Hogwarts students are behind it.
I'm certain I don't know what...
No need to discuss it further. What I would like to discuss is your wizard's field guide. May I see it?
Of course. What do you think, Professor?
I think you've been busy this year. I see some progress here, but quite a bit of your field guide has yet to be completed. Fortunately, you do have some time to prepare for your OWLs. I will confess, I had a sense about you from that first moment you came bursting in, late, to the sorting ceremony. I am pleased to see that my instincts were correct. To think you've only been with us a year and you'll already be taking your OWLs, well, it's nothing short of astonishing.
Thank you, Professor, for everything.
You are most welcome. I look forward to seeing what you do during the rest of your time with us.
There you go. Weasley's Watchful Eye is done. You can see there's a nice lock. If I come over here, I need level 34, and to get to level 34, to do the House Cup, you need to do every single side, well, not every single side quest, a lot of the side quests, lots of the trials and all that stuff in the map, and I just don't have, 1, the time to do it, and 2, the inclination to do it. So, yeah, we're going to be calling it a wrap on Hogwarts Legacy here. I'm not a Platinum Hunter by any chance, and I just think we've had a really good time with the game. So I just want to give you my overall thoughts on the game. What's good, what's not, and all of that stuff. Normally do this over credits, but yeah, let's go over the good things. First thing, let's talk about the story. So the story is, for me, really, really good, actually. I really enjoyed it, really engaged. There wasn't one part that was like, really, what? I did enjoy the fact that you know, you kept going along and they were giving you snippets as you go, and that was more of a trust aspect from them, and because they didn't know you, and as they gained to trust you, they expanded more. Yeah, you know, as stories go, it was really, really good. I liked the sort of the side stories that he had, sort of Sebastian, Poppy, Nazi. I thought they were really well done, and they tied in to the story as well. So they weren't just like some random offshoot of some stuff. Obviously, you had Harlow and Rockwood being poachers and all that stuff as a sort of a subplot behind Rangrock, and yeah, the side missions tied into that, which is why I wanted to get them done, and it came in really good. And I really like Sebastian's side story as well, not only because it gave you the unforgivable curses, but you know, it's just a tragic story, and you can see him falling off a precipice with the good intentions, and yeah, just failing to keep one eye on the prize on that one. So yeah, story wise, really, really good. You know, very, very well done. Just want to talk about the music as well. I think the music here is excellent, and one thing that I've really, really liked is none of it has been copyright claimed. It's been beautiful to go through a series where there's such a prevalency of music in the game, and none of it's been copyrighted. And for normal people who are not content creators, that doesn't matter at all. But for a content creator, yeah, having copyrights on there is not great. So yeah, kudos for that. And the music really did build up on there. Visually, I think the game is really, really good. There's a couple of things when I come into the negativity about it, but you know, 95% of the visuals really good. I think I opened up one when we're going to speak to Amit about some of the observatory stuff, but I think it's in the Gobbledygook mission, and you just look out across like the Quidditch field into the hills and stuff, and the game just looked really, really good. And as you're doing all your spells, the spells look really, really good with the shields. But there have been a few graphical issues just in the cutscene for Sebastian at the end of the last episode. You know, there's a bloke trying to cut through, you know, and bumping into it. And some of the faces, like when we're speaking to Darren, the centaur, his eyes look really, really weird. And obviously, you know, with all the different types of armor and stuff in their game, you get cut throughs like hands going through scarves and capes and stuff, which on the main character I can sort of understand. But when it's you know, speaking to Sebastian, his outfit never changed. And yeah, his outfit might never change, but he was still getting cut throughs. You know, his hands were still cutting through some of his robes and stuff. And I think even with this generation of console and PC streaming now we've got, they should be able to do better conflicts that, you know, instead of your hand cutting through a robe, it pushes the robe in. For me, in the next sort of generation of games, that should be a thing. You know, spend more time on that minor detail. So yeah, so that's visuals, but again, 95% stunning. Also want to just talk about how most things have a purpose. So room of requirement, and the beast capturing, for instance, you get the items which help you upgrade your gear. You get all of these spells. You need to do them spells not only for just the general combat, which we'll come on to, but also for puzzles around. So using Accio quite a bit, using Wingardium Leviosa and all of this other stuff to do. Obviously, for Poppy's last one, we had to use Incendio and Glacio to get through an open door. So you're not only using them for combat, you're also using them for just puzzles, which is really, really good. You know, it helps keep them in there. And one of the things I tried to do in my playthrough was, as I unlock new spells, was to bring them into the play, you know, try them out. But you sort of, you know, I could use whatever I wanted, but everything had a purpose. You know, there wasn't much that was wasted in that sense. Except, head into the map here. And let's head into the world map. And obviously I've said I'm not going to go and do all of the side stuff. The only ones I would probably do would be Merlin Trials, because you get a bigger inventory space, and we'll come on to inventory a bit later. Do I need ancient magic hotspots? I get more ancient magic bar, but I've got 3 and I've never needed more than that. You know, do I want to go around and do a mongrel lair, for instance? No. I did a battle arena at the end of one of the episodes. Didn't really get much from it. So again, do I want to do that? I could go and get some more nifflers to get some more items, or I could just sit and wait and get them to come back. Similarly with astronomy table, I don't see the need if I come into the collections over here. It's probably the collections, no, challenges. You come into like exploration. What do I get? I get extra ancient magic meter. Don't need that. I get a broom upgrade. I didn't like the broom flying. I get a cosmetic. I get more increase storage for gear. Probably the only one that I wish I'd done all of them on. You know, going to the astronomy tables, I'm getting a cosmetic. Coming over here, I'm getting a cosmetic. The Hogwarts secrets, you know. I'm not, yeah. I don't feel that you have to go and do this stuff. There's not rewarded enough for that. So, yeah, so most of the things have a purpose. A few of the things don't, and it became not a chore, but just things like, actually, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm not, you know, if I'm investing my time into doing something, I want to have that payback. Sorry. And I just, you know, some of the stuff I just didn't feel the payback was worth the time investment for doing it. Let's now talk about the core of why we play computer games generally, unless you're playing a story-driven one. Gameplay. The gameplay of this game is absolutely excellent. When you're going in to do a combat, it feels really, really fluid. You have obviously the shield bubbles that come up, and you have to use the correct magic to break that shield and then come in. You can counter that by using some of the unforgivables, which you get towards the end of the game. That just breaks shields. You've got your ancient magic, which breaks shields. But it's so much fun getting a troll, Imperio in him, so he starts to attack everybody else, and you can just concentrate on, and he takes the center of attention, helps manage that combat. And it's the combat is just that good. It is so good. It keeps you engaged, and it's the reason why you keep coming back and play. A couple of nitpicks on it is I found that the switching between what spells you want, it could be a little bit clunky, you know, pushing down on the D-pad to go through some, you know, the different force setups. And the fact that, you know, I had to juggle my combat ones against, you know, the ones I want to beast charm with. I would have thought it'd been a bit easier to, you know, when you get to a beast den, you have a separate set that opens up because you're in this sort of area around the beast den, and you picked what you wanted to do to be able to interact with it. You know, the ones like the disillusionment, so you could reveal yourself, yeah, have a separate over there, but give me 3 options for that. I just felt a little bit clunky, you know, when you're trying to juggle your day-to-day combat with everybody against then having to, oh, I need to come over here and feed my pets, you know. I've got a separate one for that, but it sort of interferes with the combat. I would have used more spells for it. Maybe it's a balancing issue, because I said I'd use more spells and you could just spam red, yellow and purple ones, and without having the real deal with cooldowns. Probably is a balancing thing, but it just felt a little bit clunky on that sense. So yeah, gameplay wise, you know, it's really, really good. It's, you know, phenomenal for a brand spanking new IP. They've done a fantastic job in just nailing them elements: the story, the music, the gameplay, the visuals. I know some of the content creators that I follow were just avoiding this like the plague, because it is a brand spanking new IP. They've done a fantastic job on this, absolutely fantastic job, to the point where if they announce a sequel, I'm not sure how they're going to do a sequel, that I'll, you know, pre-order it and get it day one. So I just want to, you know, put that out there before I come into the things that I didn't quite like about the game. But overall, you know, the game for me is a solid 9 out of 10. Easy 9 out of 10. Would recommend to people to go and play if they're interested in, it's like a wizarding game. You don't have to be a Harry Potter fan, but if you like spell slinging games, yeah, fantastic. So I want to touch on, though, before we wrap up, things that I didn't quite like. I think the variety of enemies was a little bit lacking. You had obviously your dark wizards and poachers. So your dark wizards, poachers, you had your goblins, your trolls, spiders. As sort of a a set. There you go. Dark Wizards, you get your Dug Bogs, but apart from a couple of story missions, you didn't really do them. You had your Goblins. You did have Inferi. I forgot about Inferi. Haven't done many Infamous phones, but your day-to-day are spiders, trolls, goblins, Dark Wizards. That's your bread and butter. You get the odd mission with an Inferi. Yeah, you get the odd mongrel thrown in. I can actually do that, which is good. Might as well capture that. And then within here, you have your different tiers of spiders, and probably in collections. Enemies, yes. Oh, so you get death as well, right? Death Shadow. But yeah, within the individuals, you obviously have different people within them. You know, they have their different abilities, like their range or their melee. But it's still a goblin and a goblin. And I think the troll battles sum up my feelings in this one pretty well. Is they've just become a predictable enemy. So I didn't, at the start, I feared trolls. Big, heavy, big damage. But they had a 1 or a 2 combo club. So you just dodge. And then they had the parry one. So you just parried it. And stupefied. They had a mudsling. And whether it's an armored troll or a normal troll, it didn't change. And I think, yeah, a bit more time in the oven for that and give me a bit more different move sets as we went through the story. So if you've got an armored troll, it would, yeah, do a different move set to a standard troll. You know, the only difference between sort of some of the humans was just the shield types that they had over the top of them. So yeah, just enemy variety for me just wasn't there. It was close, but yeah, it wasn't quite there for me. I've already sort of touched on it already, but the reward for exploration, again, I have no inclination. I could go and do Merlin trials, right? But there's so many of them. You know, I could go over to this treasure vault. Why? It comes into a thing of the gear that I was getting towards the end. I was very rarely getting increased gear that was better than what I was having. So I'm going out there to get some green gear. That's going to be worse than what I've got at the moment. Or it's a cosmetic. You know, I'm going to go and get a painting to put in the room of requirement. Now, if you're into that sort of stuff, you're probably going to like it. But I'm not one for just going and dressing the room of requirement up for, you know, aesthetics. I'm there for efficiency for potion farming. So yeah, I didn't feel like, you know, you got a lot. I know from like the bandit camps you can go and get runes to put into your armor and stuff. You know, I haven't got that completed out. But do I really feel the inclination to do it? No. That's the problem. There's some of the rewards for just exploring within a dungeon that you're going through for a story mission. You're going to get some gold, galleons, probably what they're called. Or you're going to go and get, say, an armor piece that is not as good as what you are. Which brings me into inventory. Because obviously I'm going around these dungeons getting armor pieces that I don't have. And, you know, your armor or your inventory slots just didn't fill up, just filled up, sorry, really, really quickly. Yes, I could do these 10 and then all of these, but to go through and complete all of these Merlin trials, it's a huge time sink to go and do them. And what put me off starting to do these was I was looking at some and I didn't have access to the spells that I needed to complete them. And I was just like, I've got to come back at some point to go through them. So I might as well go through and get all the spells and then come back and do it. And then at that point I was like, but why? There's only 1 or 2 missions that I ran out of space in my inventory at this level. And because I was going to Hogsmeade to go and sell it all at the time. You know, I've visited the broom seller so many times to sell all my stuff because he was the closest one to a flue flame. I didn't really feel then the need to do this. But it all became clunky. So, and it would upset the rhythm of the game that I was playing. Oh, you know, I want to go through and I want to carry on doing the story, find the story really engaging or some of the side quests really engaging. I'm having to stop, go and sell, go and potion restock, go again. In that sort of gameplay loop, as much as I love the gameplay, that loop because of the inventory. Give me an option to sell this remotely. It exists in the Wizarding world. You don't have to be there, you know. Even if it's a 10% reduction in the costs that I'm going to receive back, it's fine. Just give me an option to send this stuff off and instantly sell it, mark it as sale, you know, and then instantly sell it off. You know, it was become annoying, and say it just breaks that immersion. Other thing I didn't like, and it got better towards the end, was the beast interaction. Let's head over to the not Hogsmeade, Paul. I want Hogwarts. The room of requirement here, and just go through the beast interaction. So I quite liked capturing them, and some of them had quite unique ones. And I'm not even sure if I've shown this on screen because I didn't feel it was a decent review of time. Oh, I've got a another pen here, but eventually I could, you know, you got your auto feeders here, and you got the ball, but it still meant I have to go through and, you know, do this to get the item. And again, you need a Dirty Cruel Feather to interact with your gear. So I ended up just doing loads, you know, getting loads of jobber knolls here and stuff to do it. But having to do this, coming like, well, I've got a new piece of armor, comes in, I want to upgrade it. Having to go and do some beast management to upgrade the gear. It became clunky, and even though I've got this feeder here, I still have to come around and go, oh, hi, Mr. Puffskin, let me do this. Before I'd come in and do some feeding and some grooming. But yeah, it just, again, slowed down the need, you know, the going back in and out of story missions and side quest missions and all of that stuff. It was become really tiresome at the end. You know, if I come over here, obviously I've got invisibility potion, I can get there, and get some more cabbages and all that stuff. But you come over to the loom. If I wanted to upgrade this, for instance, oh, mooncalf fur, lovely. Let's just upgrade the mooncalf fur. Oh, and now I need a frupa feather and a mooncalf fur. Okay, cool. Let me go back in here, get some. Oh, we're on cooldown. I need to get some more. You know, it's that type of thing that was, yeah, just became really, really clunky towards the end. So yeah, that's a few of the things. I've already touched on the graphical issues that I had with, so I have a note that I had around faces being a bit weird. You know, the teeth were a bit weird at some points. But yeah, that is, say, Hogwarts Legacy. I've had my fill of it. If there's DLC, I'll probably get it. And if that then pushes me to level 34 to get the House Cup, then I'll get the House Cup. But again, I have no inclination to go through and do all of the stuff on the world map. Some of it involves broom flying. I hated broom flying. I thought it was quite clunky to try and come through it. Maybe it gets better if you get the broom upgrades, right? Probably, but I don't want to go around flying through some hoops. I would have liked Quidditch, maybe. Maybe if we'd have got Quidditch, I'd have probably engaged with the broom flying a bit more. I'm going to presume they cut Quidditch out for time save, to get the game out. But yeah, that's Hogwarts Legacy. It's a really, really good game. I'd recommend it. Even if you just want to do it on the story, I'd recommend doing it on hard because it is a challenge, especially for the start. But it does teach you to learn the combat system pretty well. So yeah, that has been Hogwarts Legacy and my review of the game. I say solid 9 out of 10 for me. Would have been 10 out of 10 if it wouldn't have been for, let's say, probably the inventory and was the worst, and having to go through and go into Hogsmeade, sell your stuff, go and get some more potions and break that. If I could have done, if that was a bit more better, a bit less clunky, a bit more remote, able to just sell your equipment that you don't want or store it in something, and then take that storage with you to Hogsmeade to sell, rather than tying it to a Merlin trial. Or at least when you do the Merlin's trials, when you have some more natural breaks and barriers, because you don't get a broom for quite a while. Have the early game Merlin's trials tied to the spells that you've got, and then as you expand, you know, it gets more. And some of the stuff, like when you come over here and you go through here, like there's literally a tomb of treachery that I haven't done. When you come out here, because you know this is locked, you can't get straight to here off the start. Tie to this area some of the latter Merlin trials, you know, just something a bit smarter in that sense. And I think it, you know, just drops a point for that. A couple of graphical issues. Yeah, it is a solid game though. Solid game. And this has been my playthrough of it. So thank you very much, everyone. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the game in the comment section down below. And if there's some DLC or a Hogwarts Legacy 2, I will see you all for that one.